Garland Avenue, where the woman was shot. Atlanta police are investigating.
For God's sake, how much more carnage are we willing to accept? We need to ban assault weapons
to the building because of the established checkpoints.
But that's strange that they would allow it. The airport is a public building.
No, sir, we're speaking about the application of the law up until to the point of the security checkpoints.
Taking away the ability from our police to keep us safe. Any law that hinders our police from dealing with that is a bad law.
The airport officer can ask the gun owner to take the weapon to a car or hand it over to a non-traveling family member. The violator used to be required to provide their information under threat of arrest. A
Murder. A Fox 5 News alert for you this afternoon. Take a look at your screen here. Atlanta police want to know if you recognize the two people you see in this surveillance video. Investigators say they're wanted for the firebombing of the West Side at Promise Youth Center. Police say it happened around 5:30 last Friday morning. Surveillance video shows two women dressed in black carrying two gym bags to the back of the facility. They then throw 4 Molotov cocktails and an incendiary device into the building. Atlanta police ask anyone with information to call them. Today, family and friends said their goodbyes to the owner of a towing company shot and killed at a gas station. Loved ones gathered at the East Lake United Methodist Church to pay their final respects to Christopher Harold. Police say Harold was training another driver at the Chevron gas station on Memorial Drive when a dispute between a group of people turned to gunfire. A stray bullet struck and killed Harold.
It's another life lost. We don't have Chris anymore, and his family don't have him anymore. Just put the guns down. That's it. Stop the violence.
Harold owned Fast Action Towing. Police have arrested and charged Victor Richardson with felony murder and aggravated assault. The victim leaves behind a wife and 5 children. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens today named Darren Shirebaum as the city's interim police chief. He'll take over.
Aggravated assault. Police say he stabbed another man in Carrollton on Sunday night. Medics airlifted the victim to a nearby hospital. Investigators described Lowry as heavy-set with a beard and longer curly black hair. Anyone with information should contact the Carroll County Sheriff's Office.
A North Springs high school student has turned himself into authorities after a warrant was issued for his arrest. The Sandy Springs Police Department says 17-year-old Jamari Mirable shot and killed Zaze Marshall last week following a domestic dispute. Mirable eventually turned himself in at the Fulton County Jail on Saturday. He now faces a number of charges, including murder, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and cruelty to children. Since the shooting reportedly took place in front of a 12-year-old minor.
A Gwinnett County man's also behind bars tonight after an arrest for aggravated assault led to a major drug bust. Police say that Hector Lizardo now faces a number of charges as a result, which includes trafficking, criminal trespass, and possession with the intent to distribute. Police tell Fox 5 that they had a response to a shots fired call on May the 15th at the Paramount apartment complex on Satellite Boulevard. Witnesses reported that Lizardo, who was working as a taxi driver at the time, opened fire toward a customer after the ride came to an end. Well, a week later, a search warrant inside his home led to the seizure of 119 grams of cocaine, 69 grams of methamphetamine, 72 grams of marijuana, and more than $22,000 in cash.
Fox 5 News alert tonight. Take a look at your screen. Atlanta police want to know.
Student loss on West Marietta Street back on April 10th. Police believe the shooting was drug-related. Officers say one suspect, 22-year-old Carl Penn, turned himself in, and warrants are pending for a second person. If you recognize this man, you are urged to call police. Also in Atlanta, an attempted armed robbery leaves a man injured. It happened overnight on Tanner Street in Atlanta's Edgewood neighborhood. Police say 2 men tried to rob the victim and his friend while they walked back to their car from a bar. Officers say when the victims tried to defend themselves, a gunman opened fire, wounding one of the men. But the victims drove themselves to a nearby fire station for help. We're told the gun.
More from the DeKalb County Police Headquarters. Well,
the deadly shooting happened early Thursday morning. DeKalb County Police telling us they responded to a burglary call, and when they got on scene, they found that suspected burglar dead. Bullet holes can be seen outside a DeKalb County apartment complex after police say a man shot a suspected burglar. DeKalb County Police responded to the apartment off Panthersville Road around 1:30 Thursday morning. The caller told police that he shot a man who was breaking into his home. Officers say when they got on scene, they found one man dead. They also found the man who called 911. Police say he was not hurt. DeKalb County Police say they will continue to investigate the incident. Right now, it's not clear if any charges will be filed in this case. That's the latest here in DeKalb County. I'm Brooks Honor, Fox 5 News.
On Montreal Road near I-285. Now, according to police, Cooper and Corbin shot Barnett while he was in the driver's seat. He drove to short distance before crashing and later died at the hospital. The suspects each face a murder charge. Well, good.
We've made it very clear that this will be something we will not tolerate.
A heavy law enforcement presence seen here inside the DeKalb County Jail as officers, deputies, and canine officers conducted a random search of multiple floors of the facility for contraband items. The sheriff's office provided this video of their operation.
We have confiscated nearly 15 shanks, 3 cell phones, a contraband line, which is also known as a fishing line, and some other unauthorized items.
Fishing lines, authorities say, were used to get cell phones and smoking paraphernalia into the jail. Discovery of those lines helped ID a number of inmates suspected of trafficking contraband to other inmates.
We are smarter than the average criminal.
Chief Deputy Randy A. Keys, during a news conference Wednesday, said the sweep was part of a broader operation they call Eyes in the Skies. The focus is targeting individuals outside the jail trying to sneak in contraband.
Approximately 2 to 3 weeks ago, we was able to apprehend several individuals that was outside of the facility and attempting to make a contraband drop.
DeKalb deputies charged
patient who had been complaining about pain since back surgery last month. In addition to that veteran, he gunned down a receptionist and 2 doctors, including the one who had performed his surgery, and then the killer committed suicide. All this unfolded very quickly. The first 911 call came in at 4:52 p.m. Police were there within minutes.
We train for it to happen, for when it will happen, because we see it too much now. So it's not a matter of do we think it might happen, it's how are we going to respond when it does happen.
The gunman killed himself at 4:58 p.m., less than a minute after police arrived on the scene. And about 30 minutes after this all ended, we've learned a woman called the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office about her husband. She told police she had just killed several people, that he had just killed several people at the hospital. And we don't know yet if that woman is giving investigators any more information about the gunman. Well, today it is quiet at the building where the shooting happened. It's closed to the public. The CEO of the hospital saying he's not sure if they'll ever use the space again, and some have left flowers and candles at the front door, which is now guarded by security. And the Tulsa Community Foundation set up an emergency fund for people to donate to some of the hospital's employees to receive therapy, counseling, and other services. They're accepting donations online at tulsacf.org. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, Ashley Soriano, Fox 5 News.
Details just so. When the Federal Reserve talks about a soft landing, you better put your seatbelt on because they're going to even give us a crash landing.
New reports show businesses added less than half the jobs economists were expecting, making it the worst month for job creation since April 2020.
And of course, red-hot inflation has a major impact on Americans' day-to-day finances. Fox's CJ Papa takes a look at how you can stop surging prices from squeezing your wallet quite so much.
Although inflation is impacting a majority of Americans, one personal finance expert says it's no reason to panic.
Fear cannot be your financial advisor. When we hear words like inflation and recession and all of this, the fear can just rise up and you can make really bad decisions.
Ramsey Solutions' first quarter State of Personal Finance report shows an overwhelming 80% of Americans said inflation has impacted their day-to-day finances. Personal finance expert Rachel Cruz encourages consumers to focus on changing changing financial habits within their control and optimizing their budget.
If you are not being intentional with where your paycheck's going, then you're going to spend money that you don't tend to spend.
When it comes to creating a budget, Cruz says your income minus total expenses should equal zero, and every dollar should be accounted for.
You're going to put that income,
including Fort Myers, Tampa, and Miami. Our street floods anytime there's a rain. It rained a few days ago and our whole yard was flooded. Flash flooding will be a concern, and local residents should not rule out the threat of isolated tornadoes. Officials are warning people to stay clear of beaches as tropical force winds will bring dangerous surf and rip currents along the coast.
As far as like plans for the weekend, I mean, I was hoping to do some sort of like active outdoor stuff, but that kind of put the kibosh on that.
The storm is the remnants of Hurricane Agatha.